Look, man, you're in some deep water, Harold.
Like bankruptcy, dude.
Damn cash pull.
No, I'm saying you're poor.
Harold!
Tomorrow, you're gonna fly to Mexico.
What?
We want you to hand-deliver the weed pill formula to the lab.
Welcome back to Bandwagon Fans. I'm Jeff.
Jason.
And we just got done watching Nash Egerton's The Gringo, starring Charlize Theron, Joel Edgerton, David Oyelowo, Amanda Seyfried, and Charlton Copley. And synopsis of the movie, quick. What's the gist of the movie?
Just as a pharmaceutical company, Mexico, kind of a kidnapping and ransom thing kind of take effect, and we got a bunch of characters, in shady dealings, and a bunch of characters put in a situation that they don't realize they're getting put into, and then all hell breaks loose.
So enjoy a couple scenes from the movie.
Billion-dollar industry. So, the future.
I knew. I've been kidnapped.
This is really bad timing.
They want 5 million wired to an account.
You tell whoever's got you, there is no deal unless they come way down on the price.
What?
Harold, can we call you back?
Fucking mother!
I almost feel bad for the guy.
Just stay focused.
I am focused. Somebody's going down. What is going on?
You work for bad people. I don't think you can survive that.
Gringo.
Oh, no, Almighty. Please, God, save me from this man.
You really believe in God?
Of course I believe in God. What kind of person does not believe in God?
I guess I kind of do, but...
So, a little bit, kind of a comedy of errors in Mexico.
Yeah, a good black comedy here, a good little, dialogue-driven, character-driven movie. About kind of, it's a ransom movie, is what it ends up being,
Yeah, so David Oyelowo.
Okay.
He plays
Harold.
And he is working for a pharmaceutical company.
It's like an experimental pharmaceutical, right?
Yeah. His bosses are Joel Edgerton and Charlize Theron.
Right. And they're like, your typical sleazies.
Very sleazy.
The one guy's narcissistic and the gal, well, narcissistic too, but the gal's just very, thinks she's hot. Thinks she's hot to do. So,
And then, and David Oyelowo. So they all have to go down to Mexico.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, and he gets taken advantage a lot. He's one of those guys.
Very good guy.
Right.
Almost Christ-like goodness.
I know, right? You really feel from the whole movie, and you're rooting for him, which is nice. He's the guy that goes down to Mexico for him, because that's where they get their stuff made cheaper.
And then there's drug dealers.
Yeah,
kidnapping.
The one guy involved, he eventually meets this drug dealer that they've been kind of cutting, what's the term? Kind of giving off the books or whatever, shaving the books or whatever.
So in Mexico, there's some off the books dealing.
So there's this guy called the Black Panther.
The Black Panther. The second. A lot of repeats in this movie. 2 Black Panthers. Edgerton's popping up again.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Black Panther a lot. I thought he was a highlight of the film.
Yeah.
But he's like, he kind of finds out that he's expendable. His life has been spiraling with his finances. His wife's been taking advantage. Yeah. He kind of just gets it in his head that, maybe he shouldn't go back home. He's got nothing to go back home for.
He's got nothing to go back home for. And any movies, there's like a whole subgenre of comedy of errors in Mexico.
Yeah.
Anything in particular this remind you of?
Yeah, well, you were saying the Mexican. We were also saying like Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag.
And there was another one you mentioned.
And True Romance. Romance. Ruthless People even. Going all the way back to the 80s.
What was the Charlize Theron movie?
2 Days in the Valley.
2 Days in the Valley.
Yeah, those kind of movies where it's like a lot of like, this person's mistaken for this person, and it just kind of spirals.
Yeah, just a comedy of errors. Yeah. Overall, a pretty enjoyable.
Oh, very enjoyable movie. You had a little lag.
Not a knee slapper.
No, you had a little lag where they just kind of had to sum up some stuff to get it going.
The performances overall were good.
Really good. I didn't think it was too talky.
Second act kind of dragged a little bit because So we routed off a bunch of characters, and they're all in separate places.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It did drag when it was.
And then you know, you got kind of subplots that all kind of meet together. Like you have this character that kind of works for the Black Panther that Harold kind of befriended. You got this white couple that worked at a guitar shop, young couple, British guy and his girlfriend.
Yeah,
the girlfriend kind of doesn't know what's going on.
Amanda Seyfried and some guy.
Yeah, and she's a highlight, Amanda.
Yeah.
She's really good in this movie too.
Not used too much.
No,
she could have been completely cut out. And
the whole kind of thing with them could have been cut out, but it was funny how they kept meeting each other.
Yeah,
that was the funny thing about it, and how at one time they got mistaken for somebody. You know, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
but I mean, the pacing was good, the acting was good. You know, the story was. Again, you know, all of the people that kind of took advantage of their situation in this movie, and Charlize Theron's always good.
Yeah,
you know,
she was great.
Oh, of course,
she's so good.
Yeah,
the highlight of the movie for me. Well, one, I thought Sharlto Copley. I'm not familiar with him.
He's in Selma.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the entire movie that was Matthew McConaughey.
Oh no! Oh, you're talking about that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm sorry. I was talking about the lead Harold.
Yeah.
No, that guy. I totally thought in the preview it was Harold McConaughey or Matthew McConaughey. I did.
That is the greatest beard I have ever seen in any movie.
Yeah,
the beard was the highlight. I kept watching the scenes like, man, how. That beard is so perfect,
and that guy has the greatest ethics.
Yeah,
I mean, he
made the movie for me.
Oh no, I mean they are again very few
really
characters
good.
in this movie were just like
nothing. Nobody was.
Even the pointless ones were enjoyable.
All in all, a really just a fun afternoon comedy. Probably not something I'm clamoring to watch again.
But
$6.
But a good indie movie.
So for those of you that caught that, I said $6 because that's how much movies are in Tucson. Sucks for the rest of you, but
that's why we can go to them.
But yeah, overall, enjoyable movie.
Sure,
A solid BB5 for me.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, this is definitely a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Oh really?
I mean, because these movies are just solid. You know.
Yeah, that's like great solid.
Yeah. Well, these are just solid movies.
Yeah.
You know, you're not disappointed. You know, it's not something that gets you totally worked up. It's not something that brings you down or gets you disappointed if you have too much hopes. It's just if you're familiar with these movies, you know what you're getting into, and if you're not, it's a pleasant experience.
Before you know, we're gonna get into the spoiler stuff here in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we mentioned some movies. All the movies we mentioned are kind of older. You don't really get too many of these kind of comedies anymore.
Not that I'm personally familiar with.
The Hangover is probably the closest.
Oh, but I guess The Hangover, yeah. I mean, for the way the mistaken identity's in it, and
just the kind of the screw, not really screwball, but just comedy of errors. One bad thing leading to another. Not too many of these kind of movies anymore.
No, maybe that's why it was refreshing too, especially after seeing what we've been seeing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we waited and we watched Gringo the last.
This was definitely so the movies that were released this week. You know, A Wrinkle in Time, The Strangers 2, Hurricane Heist, Thoroughbreds. This is probably the highlight.
No, this is why back Thursday. This was the one I wanted to see last.
This was so. All in all, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. If you have seen it and you just want to kind of enjoy a discussion about it, we'll be right back in just a minute.
All right.
So we're gonna fade out, and then we'll fade back in just a second here.
Someone's talking to anything. I think nose itching means wealth.
I don't know what the nose itching means. I just know that my nose itches.
Well, mine itches constantly. Where's my money?
Yeah. Anyways, so we are back on Jeff.
Jason here.
We are talking about the Gringo, Nash Egerton, starring Charlize Theron.
Was it the Gringo or Gringo?
The Gringo.
Was it the Gringo?
It was the Gringo.
Yeah.
David Oyelowo. I'm getting better at pronouncing that name. Sharlto Copley, a.k.a. Matthew McConaughey's doppelganger.
That's right.
And Amanda Seyfried. All right, so let's run through some of the shenanigans.
Okay, first off with Harold, everybody's taking advantage of him. Everybody treats him like crap.
His wife is cheating on him with his best friend.
With the best friend that works for the pharmaceutical company.
So his boss is getting ready to fire him while he's banging his wife.
And then while Charlize Theron is banging him, right, too.
Everybody wants to tell really bad parables about gorillas or
Yeah, I guess that
or
was the
bears.
thing. He had his boss with the carrot and banana analogy, where the two gorillas are eating carrots for so long, then one gorilla's given a banana, and all of a sudden the other gorilla don't want his carrots anymore.
And we're gonna come back to that story at the end, just like the movie did. Don't let us forget about that.
Okay.
We probably will. A lot of parables. There was they mentioned Jesus and Judas and Peter. Was it Peter?
Well, yeah, there was a talk there about how like when the brother of the pharmaceutical agent gets in, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So Harold's just like, screw my life, it's going nowhere. He finds out that they've been taking advantage of him. He starts to thinking that, you know what, this is a rich pharmaceutical company. I'm gonna hire a couple people to kind of act like they're kidnapping me, so I can ask for a ransom,
let's back up. So they're getting ready to merge. Joel Edgerton and Charlize Theron's company is getting ready to merge with another company.
Yeah, and one of the heads, did you notice it was the guy that played Cameron from Ferris Bueller? That was really good.
Yeah, and then
they want to hook up this marijuana pill.
So they're synthesizing THC in some kind of a pill. Yeah, and they're doing it in Mexico. Right, and it's revealed later on that in order to get this company started, they had to sell some stuff on the side to a Mexican cartel. Now that they're trying to go legit, like Godfather 3 legit, they're trying to cut out the cartel, and the cartel's having none of it.
So they go down to Mexico and they talk to the guy, right?
Yeah, and that kicks off all of the conflict.
Right. Well, what it was Harold normally goes down to Mexico on his own. He established a relationship with all these people down there. Yeah. Finally, they go down to these two sharks and they start barking at these people, and then they leave nonchalantly, just not caring about anything going on. The guy goes to the guy called the Black Panther, which is the big cartel drug dealer, right?
If the camera's shaking right now, that's a cat is trying to take out the tripod.
Oh, our Black Panther. Yeah. So anyway, this guy or a white wolf. Well, the Black Panther is a real cool character. Anyway, the one guy that's the head of the drug pharmaceutical company down in Mexico that's making the drugs goes and visits the Black Panther, gets his toe cut off. The Black Panther's like, I ain't hear none of it. And then he's like, but what's cool about this Black Panther guy is like, you like the Beatles? He had this Beatles fascination. And he's like, you like Sgt. Pepper? You think Sgt. Pepper's the best album of the Beatles? And the guy's like, no. And he's like, that's good. So many fuckers think that, just kind of writing off like it's not. It's Let It Be is the best album. And I thought, and then it goes back to that again later on. But I thought that was a really cool side note of his character. So the toe gets sent to Charlize Theron.
Well, so that guy, they don't kill him because
he says you work for me, not them, right?
But he does cut off his toe. So the players, so you have Charlize and Joel running the company, Harold kind of in the wind, the drug cartel, which needs to kidnap Harold so he can open the vault that has the formula to the marijuana pills. Right. And then Joel Edgerton brings in his brother, who was played by... So his brother was Charlton Copley, Matthew McConaughey, the big beard, the amazing, beautiful beard. and he's like a former Special Forces, Black Ops guy who's trying to go good. And
he's doing people. A lot of like work in like... where was he at?
What would be the... morally ambivalent, trying to be good, but has a dark
he used
past.
To be kind of a hired guy.
He used to be a mercenary and an assassin. So
so he's got all this passport gizmos and all this big box of stuff.
So these are all the players, and then you have.
But I mean, Harold gets out of his situation where, what happens was Harold gets all pissed because he finds out his wife's been cheating and his wife's nothing. Yeah. So he goes to this bar, he gets drunk. The guy that's the bartender knows the Black Panther.
Before that, he stages his own kidnapping.
Oh, was that before?
It was before. So he staged his own kidnapping to try to get the money. Ransom money from Joel Edgerton.
But it's this motel he goes to with these two young Mexican guys that don't really know what's going on.
And Joel Edgerton, slimeball that he is, just basically hangs up and Harold says, "We'll call you back." Yeah. So he's like the Tom Cruise character in Tropic Thunder.
Okay, right,
exactly. Not as tough, just sleazy. Yeah. And then Harold's really just at disfavor.
Right, so then that's where he gets really drunk, and then the one bartender calls some Black Panther hoods to come and get him, but he realizes what's going on, and he kind of like causes the car to go off the road, and he gets away. And then after that happens, after he got away, then...
a lot of moments of divine intervention, helping Harold out along the way.
Yeah, that's right, because the couple that I mentioned in the non-spoilers, there's a British guy that works at a guitar shop, and his girlfriend, and they go down to Mexico to meet this guy that works for the same pharmaceutical company in Mexico. They know a guy on the inside that's going to hook him up with some pills that he can take back to the States to like mass produce or do something with them. And he brings his girlfriend down just kind of as a boyfriend, like, hey, let's go to Mexico. She doesn't really know anything about it. But Harold comes up from that wreck, and they run into them after he had already run into them at the hotel. And
so
she's involved.
Yeah, and her boyfriend thinks he's a DEA agent. She doesn't care because why would I be afraid of the DEA? So
because the whole movie she's just oblivious, right? So then I
think they could have done more with her.
They could have.
She was really good in her moments, but she was probably the most.
It's kind of funny how it lagged in the middle a little bit, but then it ended abruptly.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is so they get back to the motel, the three of them, and the brother mistakes the two kids.
So now the brother
for the
Joel Edgerton reaches out to his brother, who to rescue Harold for a fee.
Yeah.
And then the brother comes in and takes out the two hotel guys that are kidnapping him for Black Panther.
They put on luchador masks, which I thought was really funny. That was cute. Yeah.
And then he takes
because like earlier on in the movie, you saw in the background when he first turned the TV on in the motel room, there was like a Santo movie playing, or like a luchador Mexican movie playing. It was funny.
So where are we? So
they get
now
mistaken.
Harold and the brother are together.
Right, yeah, the brother runs in and he gets them all, and he takes off. And so they're sitting in the hotel room, and he's like, you know what? He's kind of like straight with him about he doesn't tell him that he's the brother right away.
Right.
But he's like, you know what, this is the deal, this is what's going on.
But he feels for Harold.
Right. He's like, your wife's been sleeping with a guy, and he's like, oh, you didn't know. But anyway, he gets in contact with his brother, and he's like to his brother, because he was talking to Harold.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, we're going to ask for more money. But
his brother, then Joel Edgerton says, you know what, if he dies there, we can collect insurance, $5 million. Mm-hmm. So the two brothers decide to just whack Harold.
Yeah, for $2 million of the $5 million.
And the brother, Mr. Beard, is going to keep $2 million.
But he makes an excuse because he feels it's for a noble cause.
Yeah, because to help people in Haiti. He's working for an NGO in Haiti, so that's where the money would go.
Sure.
But ultimately he doesn't go through with it. Him and Harold dance a little bit, and
they go out and they celebrate.
Harold is just too nice.
And then our luchador boys are playing pool with their girlfriends, and they notice they're just kind of strutting along.
So this was an interesting moment.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Beard, I can't remember the character's name, but he's talking to Harold, and they're talking about God, and Harold's talking about Jesus and Peter, and he mentions that Peter, I think it's Peter, denied Jesus 3 times.
Oh no, it's Peter. When the cock crows 3 times, that's what he did.
And so clearly Peter in the movie is Joel Edgerton's character, because he denies him by trying to fire him, by sleeping with his wife, and then by offering up to be killed.
Right.
And then the brother, Mr. Beard, represents Judas, who's willing to trade him out, but still has a conscience. Mm-hmm. So they introduce this little narrative, but it doesn't really go anywhere other than the two
luchadores.
Yeah. They pull up and run over Mr. Beard, knock him into the ocean.
That's the thing. You get those scenes where it's like just all of a sudden you're like in this deep moment, and then what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that happens a couple times with his brother.
Yeah, it just came out. Well, we knew something was going to happen, but not the actual collision was pretty abrupt.
Yeah.
And then they kidnap Harold, and then everybody ends up at the factory, at the lab.
Yeah, where the code is.
With the Mexican Federale and DEA agents.
Well, because the funny thing is the British guy from the Guitar Center is there hooking up with the pills with the one guy on the inside. And as they're sneaking out because the guy did a fire drill.
He was totally pointless.
He was. As they're sneaking out, Harold's walking in with the two Black Panther guys. And the guy's like, I knew you were DA. My girlfriend said you were DA, freaking him out. That was kind of funny. And then, like, he's gone until the very end.
That's
when he gets
those two
busted.
characters really, Amanda Seyfried and then
They were just kind of there to move the plot along a little.
But
but even then it was.
That's the only thing about it. They didn't even move the plot along.
I guess what I'm saying is to move Harold along.
Yeah, they could have been completely written.
I mean,
out.
The whole plot of this was Harold.
They could have been written out and more Charlize Theron. Because she owned every scene she was in.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't in a lot. Maybe she was, busy doing Atomic Blonde at the same time or something.
Probably.
But all of her scenes were very good, and she comes out on top of the end. I mean, there's a scene where she wants to meet up with the partner to celebrate, and then she goes and hangs outside of his apartment. She sees him, liaisoning with Harold's wife, and then she goes up there and sabotages all of that. And then after all of that, she's still like, let's celebrate. Yeah. Very into herself, very just doesn't care about anybody else.
Yeah, so back to the factory. Mm-hmm. She was great, and she owned every scene. But back to the factory.
So
now everybody converges there, and then a DEA agent gets Harold. And
someone that he had befriended earlier.
Chase.
You established the relationship. Yeah. He'd bring him food and everything, and he knew him really well. So he gets away with him.
Yeah.
And two of the Black Panther guys chase after him.
Yeah. Two of the cartel guys go after him.
We get a big wreck.
And then
they're buckled in. They survive. The guys are walking up to him with guns. They're going to get shot, but all of a sudden, here comes.
So now you have almost a Mexican standoff. Except that before the actual Mexican standoff could form, people were getting shot.
Yeah.
So you had the cartel guys, DEA agent, Harold, and then Mr. Beard arrives. Because he had put a microchip in Harold.
Right.
So he knew exactly where he was.
Because it had only showed two guys coming up to the wreck, but then all of a sudden those guys got taken care of, and here comes the third guy. And
see, that moment confused me. So that was
it was just the third guy.
Okay.
Yeah, just a surprise.
Yeah.
So he shoots the brother dead, right there in the head.
So after the wreck, Harold is injured. DEA agent is Harold.
He talks to the DA injured. The DA kind of just is like, "Dude, you're dead."
Yeah, Mr. Beard got shot.
Yeah.
And then
well, he got shot dead.
Yeah,
and they had dead. But the DA agent is like, Harold, you don't have to go back to your life. It's all good. You're dead.
Yeah,
I got this. And so Harold's like, all right. So he gets in the brother's car.
He's got the passport.
And lo and behold, he's got the passport, all the wads of money. He's good.
Yeah. So.
And then this is kind of the end where it all sums up. It goes to every single person involved.
Hits every character.
Does that montage of what happens to everybody. Yeah. I love the one, again, the British guy with his girlfriend. He gets busted, taken out of the bus. You don't see the girlfriend at all. You're like, well, where's she at? As the bus is driving away, it shows her just looking back through the window, just going, what the fuck happened?
And
it was really good.
I almost forgot. But I am going to remember, Joel Edgerton ends up in jail.
Yeah.
And he gets some mail. Yeah. And in the mail is the banana peel.
Right.
With a note on it said, eat your own carrots.
Yeah.
An obvious reference to earlier in the movie, proving, so now Joel Edgerton's character knows that Harold is still alive.
And the poor Black Panther, he got taken out in his wife beater.
And then it cuts to Harold, who now is running a beach bar.
Yeah, Harry's bar. Yeah. And texting back. And then also the girl, again, does a little text because there was a scene established with her and him in the hotel room as she was taking care of his wounds where they were talking about, why do you go by Harold? Why don't you change it to Harry? Yeah. I know Harry like Houdini.
Yeah.
So in the very end, you get this nice little text from, she gets a text from Houdini.
Right.
And there's a message written in the sand saying happy birthday. And then it shows who the message is from. It's Harry's bar. He's there situated.
Yeah.
you
So
know.
he's gone from Harold to Harry.
Yeah,
changed
he
his
took her
name.
advice.
So just some of the highlights of the movie. Real efficient screenwriting. They did a good job of wrapping up all the loose ends.
I was gonna be worried it was too talky, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Other than that second act that dragged a little bit.
When she met up
pretty efficient.
with Cameron to do all of that, you didn't need that.
And I don't, probably something I'll pick up on maybe more so than you, but really beautiful lighting. I
mean, they made really good use of the Mexican backdrop.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of interest. So there were scenes in hotels where it's a really interesting yellow and green lighting to kind of representing Mexico. You had your orange and teal lighting. And then at the end, it was just really washed out white beach.
it looked really good.
So a lot of stuff like that I appreciate.
Sure.
The performances were all solid. Just all in all, just a good,
you had the
solid
humor. Like I said, you had the Black Panther with his Beatles stuff. How he made that one comment to Harold. Was it Harold he made the comment to? He's like, "Let it be."
Yeah.
He kept quoting like Beatles songs and stuff.
Well,
and,
they rattled off. He rattled off a whole string.
Oh
of them.
no,
I can't
he
even
did.
remember all
I
of them.
can't. I did remember "Let It Be" now.
Yeah, he rattled off a whole bunch of Beatles songs.
Yeah. Or he was. Anyway, we're gonna waste time trying to think of that. But anyway, it was really nice. The humor was good. Not a lot of it, but really well placed. And
so like I said, for us, pretty positive movie. It's probably a movie that a lot of people aren't going to go see. But everybody that I think that goes to see it will enjoy it. It's just a question of whether or not it's worth going to a theater to watch.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. At least for a matinee, but I think this is worth going.
Yeah, definitely. Same for me. Definitely worth watching.
It has a little bit of everything for somebody.
I would recommend going to a show where you think there's going to be a lot of people. I think more people in the theater would help some pop some of the comedy. We saw it pretty early. There was maybe 4 other people in the theater, and I think that kind of hampered the experience. But
I mean, and what's also too that the violence was kind of funny. Just the way it was, just a lot of the violence was just kind of like unexpected, abrupt, and just what. Sure, but good movie.
Yeah, overall a good movie. So if you've seen it, what did you think of it? Leave your comment below, and as always, like and subscribe to see all of our reviews. A full slate coming up. We got a whole bunch of movies this week, and it's gonna be like this all summer long. So, we want to appreciate all of our subscribers. We do this because we want to be part of the YouTube community, and we appreciate you guys coming and checking us out. So, like I said, like and subscribe. And I'm Jeff.
Jason.
Get on the bandwagon.
Happy trails.